From the bright lights of Las Vegas to here in Glasgow, a cultural hub of Scotland, it is the final major of the season. And if you thought Sabrina Carpenter playing across the road was a big deal, clearly you haven't heard that over the next 5 days, 19,000 athletes are going to be descending on the SECC. Amongst them, an elite female field who have one more opportunity before ending at the last chance qualifier. And let me tell you, nobody wants that to happen. It is going to be some all-out racing as 10 athletes out of the 15 still need to secure one of 3 spots. The World Championships is at stake and it's going to be everything on the line. You've got Lauren Weeks and Vivian Tafuto there, 2 ladies out of the USA. Tafuto from Texas looking to secure a ticket to the World Championships tonight, alongside German Sekka Arning. You can see just above Proctor and Piergiani. Piergiani, another one who's going to be in that fight. No one wants to miss out on an opportunity to go to Chicago and claim what could be the grand prize of a top step and the title of a world champion.
And here we go, everybody. Enjoy the race, enjoy the action live here from Glasgow. Our women's elite 15, and they're off. And that gives me the opportunity to welcome Jake and Greg back to the studio here.
Jake.
Yeah, that's what I said. I started with Jake and then I corrected myself to Jake. Let me be a little bit excited here. Great to have you guys. Jake, I know we had a quick chat about it already. It's got to hurt a little bit not to be on the start line today.
The other thing that can happen with so many laps is like you lose sight of the athlete. It's not even very far in front of you, and because there's so many turns, you lose sight of them. And if there are long straights, you know you've got them in your eye line. It helps to sort of tag onto the back of them a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think as well. If you're not kind of in the front, it can feel like you're a lot further back than you are. If you're getting lapped on a 4-lap course, you might not be getting lapped on a 2-lap course, whereas here it's going to play into that mindset a little bit. So I think the best thing that girls that aren't on the front can do is just stick to their own race plan, stay pretty strong for the first few stations and see where they're sat after that, and then race from there. And again, remember, these 2 girls have already qualified. So it's not a race about these 2. You can almost forget about them and just race the people that are in the actual Elite 15 qualification spots.
Yeah, that's a great point, because you know there's 5 ladies that are already qualified in this race. So in theory, like it could roll down as far as 8th tonight. So you can't get too demoralised if you're getting lapped by some of the top performers, because you're still well within it.
Well, and here we go. First workout station. This is a scenario we haven't seen this way before. Joanna Wittrick in pretty much right with Lauren Weeks there.
Yeah, she's nice and tall as well, so the ski and row suit her as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out in front on this.
Oh, this is going to be an exciting race. Before the race I thought, okay, we're going to focus fully on those qualification spots for the World Championship. This is the race, but we got to look at this because this is an indication towards the World Championship as well. And that's a little bit where, I don't know if I see that wrong, but I always think Lauren Weeks been in the sport for so long. And at the top, it'll be a lot harder for her to improve on her performance than it is for Joanna, who's fairly new in the sport.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good time for Joanna as well. Like, she's obviously not been in the sport that long, but by the time it comes to Worlds, and she's put a few good Elite 15 races together now, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And I hope Meg comes back in as well, and it's going to be a big battle between those 3. And then you never know, someone like Kate might come in, and we saw it at Worlds last time where she sat on the rower next to Meg, and she looked at her and was like, how the hell am I sat here? So yeah, there's a few underdogs that will come in, but at the end of the day, those 3 are probably the 3 that are the ones to beat for sure. Yeah, there's probably a bigger variance in times over the female category than we see over the men's. So I think we do tend to see a big difference between Lauren and then whoever comes out in 15th. So it's not surprising that these 2 are already out the ski and they've still got 100 meters to go.
A little bit of confusion there on where to get out of the workout, and I understand it. Like usually you got this long run around, and here it's like straight out of the door and off you go onto the track again.
Hopefully it means it's a quick course, smaller little rock zone, and we can see some fast times being thrown down tonight.
Sekka Arning, she's out in 3rd. She is here for redemption.
Yeah.
Something went awfully wrong in Las Vegas. I mean, horrific pictures from the wallballs where I think the ball knocked her over like 3 or 4 times. She was that done. She bonked so hard. They worked a lot on the nutrition. I don't think they entirely put the finger on it yet what the issue was. But yeah, we talked to her before the race. She's trying different things in terms of nutrition. Let's see how it plays out for her. Definitely a really good start into the race here. Fastest German, Lindemeyer right behind. And then we're seeing Jana Lebenstedt in the mix as well. Jezebel Kramer, who's a very late entry into the race. Really good ski erg here as well.
Oh, Kate's gone down with cramp by the looks of it.
So what's the strategy here? Go all the way until the legs burn, or is it the do a short break before they burn?
See, the girls always do a full length before braking, whereas you watch the men and they'll always split halfway. A few of them, like Harry Thompson, will just go all out on the sled push and will come out in first. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, the girls will always go unbroken, which is again, I've not spoken to them too much, but it's always the case. They must seem to just be able to shift the lactic a bit better than us blokes.
Something, but it's really interesting to see now. If you look at Lauren, she doesn't seem to be struggling too much this time around. She's going shoulder to shoulder with Joanna Wittrich right now.
Very even. It doesn't look like the sleds are flying though, does it? I think we've certainly seen them move those sleds quicker this season.
Oh, looks like Lucy just went down and got caught out with all the girls being bunched up, so she actually missed her sled lane, and now she's gone all the way down to 14th or 13th. But they're all so close together, so be interested to see who comes out in first place on this.
Oh, definitely, and she's got an incredible first lap on that sled push right now.
That was an angry sled push, that was.
That was a very angry sled push right there. You know, a bit of anger channeled the right way, never heard.
No.
All right, Joanna Wittrich now opening a little bit of a gap on Lauren, who needs to take another breather here, another quick break just before finishing that lane. Lindemeyer now catching up to Sika Arning, but then if you look at it right next to them, it's so close right now.
Watching Jezebel Kramer down in, I think, in the 11th lane. She's moving incredibly quickly. She's made up a lot of time on some of the ladies ahead of her.
She is. Her and Joffrey put down a really fast time in Vienna on the in the Open World Championships. And here comes Joanna.
Joanna first out of the workout. Lauren now, you know, what she said, struggling a little bit. She needs to take 3 breaks on that last lane. Just a little bit too much. Oh, she needs to take a 4th just before finishing the lane. Definitely struggling with the sled right now. And here we go, out she goes.
We've seen this happen before though, and she comes back, so she's a strong athlete. She's gonna trace down Joanna now and get into the sled pool.
And I think for her, it's an interesting situation, but I think it's an advantage now. Beforehand, Joanna had Lauren dragging her along the track, I want to say. She was there as like that motivational carrot, as Sika Arning is coming out in 3rd now. But now Joanna is in the lead, so she's got to push herself now. There's nobody around forcing her to run as fast as she possibly can. Jezebel Kramer moving into 4th, and then Vivian Tefudo going by as well. Lindemeyer again losing time at the sled push. We're not too worried about that after what we've seen in Vegas. Angry Lucy is out as well.
That was a good sled push from Lucy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge temptation to run very often. You know, there's 4 majors in the season, plus now like elite doubles to qualify for and race for, and you know, fun events to do and things like that. So yeah, that is a danger for sure.
And here we go, Joanna Wittrich coming into workout number 3, and we're stopping the clock here to see how big of a gap Lauren Weeks has, how far she's behind. Obviously, looking at the timings that we're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen, Sika Arning, Jezebel Kramer, not qualified. Vivian Tefudo not qualified. Viola Oberländer not qualified. Those are the athletes we're looking at right now. And Lauren, she did not lose any more on that second half, so the gap is 30 seconds going into the sled pull. Very interesting to see Joanna Wittrich at the sled pull now. You know, we just had that nice little tutorial, the Red Bull tutorial from Alex Ronkovic on how to do the sled pull. And he says you always want to have tension on the line. You know, you always want to keep it off the floor and have tension on there. She is more the drop it and walk to the front kind of athlete.
Looks like it's moving well, though. She gets down really low, whereas if you look at some of the other athletes, they don't get down as low to squeeze through. So might be a few seconds she could even shave off on the sled pull with a technique, but this might be the one that works for her.
All right, here we go with the chasers in. Zika Arning still hanging on to third spot. Vivian Tefudo right behind. Lucy Proctor coming in as well. Jezebel Kramer, Linda Meyer, Sarah Pijani, Camilla Massa coming as well. Kate Davey in now as well.
Now it's getting exciting.
And Viola Oberländer, you know, she's been struggling the entire season. She was fourth coming out off the sled push, fourth or fifth, doing like with a really good push, but she lost a lot of positions on the run coming in just now.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's running as smoothly as she has done in the past.
All right, I think there's definitely something up with Kate Davey from what I've just seen. It looks like she was running fully on her toes, more limping than anything else, and she is really struggling to move. Yeah, there's no pressure on the left foot. I hate to say it, but I think the race needs to be done for Kate Davey. Joanna Wittrick, she is out onto the track, and we'll see how big the gaps are.
So it was 26 seconds Lauren Weeks was behind Joanna coming out of the sled pull.
So she's gained about 5 seconds on the pull.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we're just hearing from Lauren, who we just saw in the studio a moment ago. It looks like Kate rolled her ankle at the pull. Actually, she's down on the ground now. I think she's not accepted the fact yet that this does not make too much sense anymore. And here we go with the chasers. Sika Arning, Vivian Tefudo out now as well. Faisal, our head announcer, checking on Kate Davey, having a word with her if there's still any point in going. I think, a little bit of drama here again. This is Vegas all over again. We're seeing all the drama repeat itself.
Here we go. Zara's taken a few places here on the sled pull as well.
Well, this is the one race I feel so much for her. It's the one race her kids had the chance to come over and see mum race, and this happens right now.
That's why she's carrying on. She's got a smile on her face still. She's slight tears as well, I think. But
so much heartbreak here for Kate Davey, but what an athlete, making the family proud.
She's struggling as well, but she's fair distance behind everyone else leaving the sled pull.
And you know what we're seeing here a little bit is with the late entries into the race, it just proves again how different an Elite 15 race is to a pro race. You know, it is brutal what happens when it's just the athletes out on the grid. There's no interference from anybody else out there. It's just full on racing.
There's also no hiding as well. Like, you have to be 100% to compete at this level. I know, again, I spoke about John earlier, but he's not been feeling very well. Be interesting to see what happens with him later on.
Oh, absolutely. And we're seeing it picture in picture. Kate Davey, absolutely heartbroken. We chatted to her about before the race, and she was so excited. The school allowed her 2 kids to take 2 days off to go see mommy race because all the other major races are overseas. And then on a day like that, she rolls her ankle, and the race, I believe, is over for Kate Davey. Hopefully nothing a hug from the family can't fix tonight. But now back to the front of the race, Joanna Wittrick. She is done with that lap of the burpees here. Lauren Weeks is behind.
24 seconds behind coming in she was, so not much distance gained or lost on that last run.
And that's a really good one. It's an interesting one to see now on this run again. So after the slap push where Lauren Weeks was hurting a little bit, just getting out of the sled push, she lost 10 seconds on Joanna. Then she ran the same times. Now she was running 2 seconds faster than Joanna again. I mean, the runs come a lot closer together.
Yeah, so just on that point, so it's Sika Arning coming in third, then Vivian Tefudo in fourth. So those two still chasing the qualifying spots. Then Linda Meyer came in fifth. She's already got a spot, as has Lucy Proctor in sixth. And then it's Zara Piergiani in seventh, who is still chasing the spot. So at the moment, it's Sika, Vivian, and Zara in the qualifying positions. But then Zara is very closely followed by Camilla Massa. Essentially, they came in at the same time.
So there's only a 25-minute gap between those qualifying spaces.
And there's literally there's 1 second for 3 athletes for the last spot right now. 156, 156, 157 down. Jess Petro in the mix there as well.
Yeah.
I'm still holding my breath, you know, when it comes to Sika Arning after what we've seen in Vegas with a really good and fast start. I really hope she's got the nutrition dialed in. She was not too happy about the Scottish cuisine in the last 2 days.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I don't think she considers haggis a great pre-race food.
An iron brew. I've been excited to see Sika every race this season, really, because she at Nice she wasn't in the elite race, but she was the fastest pro athlete on the day by some margin, actually, as well. She put an incredible performance on that day. So I've been excited to see what she was going to do this season. She's not quite done it in every major, but maybe today's her day.
All right, and look at that. Lauren Weeks 14 seconds faster at the burpees than Joanna Wittrich. She brought the gap down to 10 seconds now. She's really close. And despite, you know, the short run circuit, she might have an opportunity now to see her on the slightly longer straight and maybe pull herself up.
Yeah, I think we'll see her attack this run pretty hard with the confidence of gaining a little bit on the burpees. Again, this sport is all about confidence, all about really attacking the stations and the runs that you're good at. And again, as we spoke about, she's clearly good at this middle section of the race. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see her catching up quite quickly now.
This is going to be so hard. Both of them, Joanna and Lauren, racing all out here today, and then hopping on a plane, flying to Houston, and both with different team partners trying to qualify for the Elite 15 Doubles World Championship.
Who's Lauren competing with, do you know?
Lauren Weeks is with Lauren Griffith.
Okay, nice, yeah. That's going to be a race. See who can get the one up today.
And then it's Joanna Wittrich and Tia Toomey, I think.
Yeah. Vivian Tafuto is flying home as well first thing tomorrow morning. She's racing to Houston, but with her dad.
So fair enough, she might be able to breathe a little more throughout the race.
Maybe. I think he's very fast, though.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Sika Arning, Vivian Tafuto, still shoulder to shoulder, both gunning for one of those World Championship slots. They're out in 3 and 4. Lucy Proctor keeps her position. She's coming out now as well.
Another strong performance so far from Lucy Proctor. We've all almost come to expect it, which is crazy, just her second elite race. But they're sitting in 5th position after finishing 5th in Vegas on her debut. Like, another really strong performance today.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed in Vegas. I think for her debut, and she didn't really have the best start, and the composure to then come back and run really, really, really well was really impressive. And I said that to her.
It's very interesting to see. If you look at the technique, it's like there's those 2 different opportunities. What do you do with your hands in the front? So a lot of the old school rowers will say you do this little whip. You know, it's like a slight dip with the hands and like a whip in motion back. And nowadays you hear it more and more. It's just like, no, you keep your arms up and you go straight in, straight back, and so on.
Whatever you do, someone will message and pick up on your rowing technique. So
absolutely.
I think until you've done a Hyrox and you've done the runs in between, and you need to almost conserve your legs a little bit, it's kind of hard to understand what and why the technique needs to change for certain people.
I was so cocky and judgmental, you know, when it came to the row until I did my first race, and I'm like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I think James Kelly, or he used to, I don't know whether he still does, but his last 100 metres is pretty much arms only, so that he can then go and run pretty hard off his row. So there's a few different techniques and tricks and things coming into play with Hyrox in particular.
And it's like, especially the row, if you look at it, it's just that marginal gain. Like, if you're not comfortable, but like the maintainable pace, if you want to go faster, it's just not worth it anymore. It's those 5 seconds that you get on the 1,000 cost you so much energy.
Yeah, you won't see many people go in like 5, 10, 15 seconds quicker per split on the row at all. So I'd be surprised if there's much change or shift between some of the athletes here.
Right, Joanna Wittrich is out. Lauren Weeks is right there where she needs to be. She's not going to waste a second now to run up to Joanna Wittrich. I would say the race is back on.
Yeah, she's got her eyes firmly on Joanna there. She didn't even look at the floor. She was just eyes on.
40 minutes into the race. Our race clock presented by Amazfit, our timing partner. And here we go. That is the race.
Here they go.
in the front, Lauren Weeks and Joanna Wittrick. Lauren Weeks is going to be first into that farmer's carry. And then behind it, we got the race for the qualification spots here for the World Championship. And you're definitely right. Jess Petrov, she managed to put about 4 seconds into Camilla Massa on that last lap. And Lauren Weeks now racing from the front. That's what you call tunnel vision right now.
Little party tunnel.
It's our little party tunnel here.
Yeah.
So how much do you think the mental game can still improve in this sport? You know, those little nudges, like, would it make sense for Joanna to try to go past Lauren now in the farmer's carriage to prove a point? I'm here. Just put a few doubts into Lauren's mind?
I think you can do, but I think also Lauren is Lauren. Like, she is one of the best athletes this sport has seen. And I think Joanna almost probably respects that at the same time. So, and also there's only so much your body can physically take and do. So she'll be pretty wise to just stick on her now on this last run and try and keep pretty tight and almost use Lauren.
Jess Petri, Sarah Pajani getting a word full here from Faisal, our man on the ground. Camilla Massa.
Oh, she's put them down already. Arning put the kettlebells down. That can make a big dent in your time and also mental as well.
And the gap isn't all that big to the three coming from behind.
And we've seen it happen time and time again. The back 2 stations, as much as you might be in the lead now, the back 2 stations make a massive difference. If you're weak or feeling fatigued going into them stations, people can put some serious dents into you in those back half.
Well, another reason I'm really disappointed not to see Kate Davey, finish the race here today. She put in 3,780 wall balls since Las Vegas because she was like, it's not okay that I'm not doing them unbroken. She literally did unbroken wall balls every single day since Las Vegas going into this race here.
Yeah, that's dedication, and that's what you have. That's what you get when you've got Anthony Pericini as your coach. I think you get volume. So, and we see it with Lauren. Like, she's one of the best athletes, as we said, and she works with her husband, Anthony, and they've got a pretty good team going on.
Oh, and look at Camilla Massa. She's gone past Jess Petro now. She's doing what she needs to do. She needs those seconds coming out of the run. Lauren Weeks, Joanna Wittrick, still shoulder to shoulder going into the sandbag lunges. If they can do the sandbag lunges together now,
it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
This is going to be a wild race to the wall balls.
I think we're on for a very, very fast time from the two of them as well, actually.
Yeah, we've not really looked at that, have we?
No. Coming into the wait for the times to come up, but I think they're very much on like world record sort of pace at the moment.
Here we go. Joanna Wittrick, she took a second there getting that sandbag on her shoulders, but there she is with Lauren Weeks with exactly that discussion beforehand. In the race briefing, in the lead briefing, we saw it, at the end of the lunges, the last lunge needs to be in upright position before you're allowed to turn around, otherwise it's an incomplete lunge. Oh, and neither of them right now is willing to just back down even an inch.
Stride for stride right now.
Oh, this is brutal, and we just saw the look over the shoulder from Vivian to Fudo at those two on the grid, and realizing I still have to run another lap before I'm allowed to go into the sandbag lunges. Incredible race that we're seeing from Joanna Wittrick and Lauren Weeks. And Joanna Vittrick now losing a little bit of balance at the sandbag lunges. It's just a sign of her getting tired. Lauren Weeks managed to open the gap by just a lunge or two right now, and this can prove to be real valuable in the end here in the race towards the wall balls and towards victory. Oh, and Joanna Vittrick, she needs to fight now. Lauren Weeks is doing her thing. It's not a huge gap, but it is a bit of a gap. And I want to say it's a little easier on the run for Lauren Weeks to run back up to Joanna than for Joanna to reel in Lauren on the way back. And they still got a lane to go here.
Yeah, she's definitely putting in, she's what, 3, 4, 5 lunges ahead now?
So there on the screen you can see Lauren came into the lunges after 45 minutes and 30 seconds. When she done the world record back in Vienna last year, she ran a 58.03 in total, but she came into the lunges 47.04. So she's like a minute and a half ahead of that pace at the moment.
Wow. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I mean, we talked about it. On the one hand, the rock zone being fairly short here, but on the other hand, everybody was talking about the slow and difficult run course that we're having here. And she is out. She is out. I want to see how Joanna Vittrick is going to respond to this now. Here we go. Little motivation from Faisal, but that cost her about, I want to say, 12-ish seconds.
Yeah, I'd say even more with the way that Lauren just ran out of there. She looked like she was really attacking that final run, so it's going to be tough for Joanna to come back, and especially as Greg said, with both of them being able to go unbroken on the wall balls.
But nevertheless, I don't care how this ends right now. Joanna Vittrick is putting on a very different Joanna Vittrick right now that she's showing here. She's been with Lauren Weeks or even ahead to the sandbag lunges, which, you know, if she can keep everything the way it is, it's one workout she needs to improve on to be right up there.
Yeah.
And she's got a pretty good mentor in Tia-Clair Toomey at the moment, so I think her stations are going to only improve, which is pretty exciting for her.
Well, look at that race behind Vivian Tufudo. I think she's done what she needs to do to secure her spot for the World Championship. I mean, this cannot go wrong, I want to say. She put almost in a minute into Sika Arning in the last two, or in the last workout and the last run. Sika Arning definitely struggling right now, and she is now only 30-some seconds ahead of Petro, Pirjani and Massa. Sika Arning really needs to hold it together right now. She's still looking good at those sandbag lunges. Jezebel Kramer, by the way, flying through the sandbag lunges right now.
Her stations have been strong. Her stations have been strong today. That sled push was really impressive. It's just the runs. I guess these other girls are a little bit more younger, a little bit snappier on the run. So but she clearly, she's no mug. She clearly makes up for it on these stations. She's got those knee pads on and she's smashing her knees down. She's not messing about on them lunges at all.
Not at all. Joanna Vittrick, she is fighting. She is fighting, but she's 20 seconds down on Lauren Weeks now.
I mean, Lauren's running as strong as she did on that first lap by the looks of the way that she's attacking the run. So, yeah, again, as I said, I'd be surprised if Joanna can even try and fight back for this last lap.
Oh, and this is incredible. Vivian Tufudo, she is out. She's out in third in Sika Arning. She is fighting.
I'm pretty surprised Tufudo hasn't qualified already. How was her? Can't remember her races before, but she's a hell of an athlete. And
yeah, so in Amsterdam she didn't. I think she finished in last place. You know, she just wasn't on it at all that day, not for any particularly obvious reason. And then I don't think off the top of my head we saw her in Hong Kong, and then in Vegas it was, you know, solid.
Travel,
yeah. But yeah, after, I mean, she'd been commonly associated with finishing fourth in like the major championships, and then finished third last year in Nice, and so like really expected her to push on this season. She hasn't quite done it for whatever reason. But yeah, today she's looking good.
Yeah, it can happen. It looks like she's peaking at the right time, and she looks fresh and strong today. So,
that's been a rough workout for Camilla Massa when it comes to the qualification spots here.
Yeah, she's not attacking this run after those lunges, so I think that's taken a bit out of her. So it's going to be between...
It's going to be between Sarah Pirjani right now and Jess Petro for that final spot. Vivian Tafudo looks safe. Sika Arning's done a great job at the sandbag lunges. She opened the gap on the 3 behind again.
Just to go back to Lauren here and the time, she's entered the wall balls at 52.58, and the world record is 58.03.
Yeah.
So she's well on for a world record.
I think
She's about to challenge Hunter McIntyre.
Yeah, she's going to break the world record here.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. 52.58. I mean, she's got 5 minutes, over 5 minutes for the wall balls, which just doesn't happen even on a worst day. We're going to see a new world record from Lauren Weeks, and we're even going to see Joanna Vittrix stay under the old world record time.
Oh yeah, almost certainly, yeah. You're looking at probably just over 3 minutes for this station for the both of them.
Yeah, I'd say 3:10, 3:20. 3 no reps already for with these screens. It's hard to tell. I think that's the target. If you look on the target, you can see on the left-hand side you've got target, and then on the right-hand side you can see if you get a no rep for depth. So you can actually see what you get a no rep for on these new targets.
Because that's the thing for everybody who's new to the sport. It's not just randomly hitting the target. You need to hit it center, so it's about precision as well.
Yeah, which is hard when you've just ran for 55 minutes or whatever it is, and you're trying to hit the target with a weighted ball. So again, this is probably the most skilled part of the Hyrox event.
And for me, it's always one of the most fun things to see in a race when our elite, for whatever reason, in a double or something with a friend, races open category. It takes them 5, 6, 7 wall balls to dial in the lighter weight. They always overthrow because it's so ingrained into the body and everything is automatic.
You see, we were in Poland, and the judges and the photographers were all wearing crash helmets because people throwing the wall ball over the target.
I think there might be a little bit of an insurance issue somewhere there. All right, Joanna Vittrix, 70 reps in now, but Lauren Weeks on the way to new world record at 85 reps. Faisal, our man on the microphone in here, counting them in. And fantastic to see the grandstand filled up. Over 2,000 spectators in here today on this Wednesday. And the final 5 wall balls for Lauren Weeks, 56.09 is the time right now. That is just ridiculous.
Wow.
And here she goes. You know, she said it before the race. The thing she's looking forward to the most is going home as quickly as possible because she had to travel here without her daughter, and it made her race even faster. Waiting for the official time here, but a time around the 56:21:22 mark. A new world record by over a minute and a half for Lauren Weeks and Joanna Vittrix across the line as well. There we have a new world record, 56:23.
Wow. And that's after not a particularly impressive sled push as well. It wasn't like it was crazy quick. I think it was 2:48 her sled push, so that was about 30 seconds slower than what she did when she set the world record initially in Vienna. So to make up that time elsewhere in the race, presumably on the runs, is incredible.
Oh, and a great run from Jess Petro. She's coming into the rock zone now as well. And we're already seeing Vivian Tafudo and Sika Arning at the wall balls. Vivian Tafudo well in at 37, 38 wall balls already. Lucy Proctor at 12. And Jess Petrov, look at that, 52-inch. She's unbroken so far. She keeps the gap on Sarah Perjani, who's taken just a little bit of a breather here. And Jess Petrov dropping it just now, but she's almost matching the time of Linda Meyer next to her, who's an incredible wall ball athlete. Vivian Tafudo, here we go. Not only does she qualify for the World Championship in Chicago, but what an incredible podium race here for Vivian Tafudo.
Under the hour. Very, very strong. A few no reps over there on the back half.
75. Yeah. 75 for Lucy Proctor. He had to take a couple of breaks. And Sika Arning, 92. She is 8 wall balls away from redemption. She is going to go to the World Championship. There is no doubt after the drama we've seen in Las Vegas with her completely losing it at the wall ball. She's now 3 wall balls away from qualifying. And what a move. She moved herself back into 4th overall at the World Balls. Here she comes. Sika Arning qualifying for the World Championship, and behind it is an incredible race that we're seeing from Jess Petro, who now she is 10 World Balls away from qualifying for the World Championship as well. Linda Meyer gone past Lucy Proctor as well at the World Balls, going unbroken. Lucy Proctor done now.
Oh, she's no rep on the last one. There she goes, she's in. Here's Jess, she's going to qualify and get that final spot.
What a race for Jess Petro. And Sarah Pejani and Camilla Massa, we had them in the double interview before. They were very confident that they could make it happen on the day here today. But what a race.
A new world record. Did you know?
No, I mean, I felt like we were booking it the whole time, for sure. I don't think I was able to slow down at any moment.
It was incredible. How deep do you have to dig? Like, just comparatively, this to all your previous racing, if it was such a head-to-head battle with Joanna?
It was a lot of digging, and I feel like I've never had a ton of self-talk while I was going, but this one I was like, you can do it. Like, you can do it, push hard. The laps are really small. Just because you can't see her, it doesn't mean she's that far away. So I just kept pushing and hoping for the best.
You've been ill. You've been doing the CrossFit Open in your spare time. You've obviously been training for this, but did you expect a kind of result like this to come off the back of probably a slightly different training block?
No, not at all. But as I was telling Joanna when we came across the finish line, like, this is the best race I've ever been in like any sport in my entire life. Like, it was so close and so much back and forth, and like both of us digging deep the whole time. Like, it was painful and like so much fun at the same time.
This is obviously what it means to be a Hyrox athlete.
Yes.
Now, I know that your husband, Anthony Pericini, and daughter Lily are watching from home. Have you got any words for them?
So if you see me do this, that's I love you.
Oh, we're on a recap of your race.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that in a minute. Like, look at this, an unbelievable pickup there. This
a
is
lot
where
of pain
you really
face. A lot of pain face.
a lot of pain face.
Yeah.
But the pace out of this section, knowing you're going into the final parts of the course, it's a long way from the finish, but it's the time in which you needed to turn on those afterburners.
Yeah, and I'm very conscious of the fact that, like, I don't have the reach that Joanna does, so lunges are not always a strong point for me. I tried really hard to keep my cadence up as quick as possible. I would love to see the split of this to see if I was able to cut time off of what my normal time is, because I felt like I moved faster, but I don't know until I see the splits.
I think it was a 3:25 lunge.
For lunge?
Yeah, and then I must say it's incredibly strong on the run coming out of it as well. Like, you come out right in front of us, and like it was like you were sprinting. It was like it hadn't slowed you down.
Well, I had to. She can do unbroken wall balls. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay, let's tell Lily how much we love her.
Lily, I love you so much. I know you're up right now.
I'm not sure it gets more special than that. And when you look at the elite women's results, those top two, Laura Meeks, Joanna Wettrick, it's going to be a battle to the end in Chicago, especially when we bring Megan Jacoby back into the picture.
Yeah, it really is. And it is such a strong field throughout. But the gap that Lauren and Joanna had tonight really showed like just how good they are. Like, to be a few minutes ahead of the rest of this field, and they opened up that gap quite quickly, was phenomenal from the both of them tonight. And they, like we touched on, they really pushed each other on. I think it was a great race.
We've got a lot of the status quo of Hyrox already going to Chicago, but there's also a number of athletes that are missing.
Yeah.
And that means that last chance qualifier is going to be huge. Zara Piergiani, for me, Viola Oberlander are some of the names at the top of that list.